Hi, I'm Creason,
And I'm Cynthia.
and this is Random Spirit, where we talk about random topics. What are we talking about today, Cynthia?
Today we will be talking about weird things that have happened in our lives that we can connect spiritually. I don't
Sounds
know.
good. No,
Yeah.
that sounds good. It's
Yeah.
it's spiritual random things that
Yeah.
occurred in our
Random
lives.
spiritual things. So I'm going to start off. We'll bounce off each other.
All right.
So one thing that is weirdly, I feel connected, is that my significant other and I, okay, crazy. When we first met, I started having sleep paralysis, I guess you could say. And like, I don't know, it's weird because like he had it too. And I'm telling you, like, I like back then, this was like in high school, I didn't know anything about like spirituality and like the things that I'm into now because I was just Catholic. And yeah, like I honestly thought that like the devil was taking over me or something because I
What,
was,
like The Exorcist?
yeah, no, dude, okay, listen, one of the things that stuck and sticks out is, I don't know if I told you, there was one time that I was like sleeping or whatever, and like, I don't know if this was an out of body experience, but like my freaking body was levitating on my bed, like not on the bed, but like, you get it, like my
You
my
you literally
body.
sound like one of those movies right now, though. The
No,
Exorcist.
no, no, no. But listen, I'm being like serious. My body was like, it was like the movies. It like, my body was like floating,
Mm-hmm.
and it was weird because it was like, my lifeless body and my neck was kind of like back and bent, and my legs were like, like you would pick up something and it like flops. Literally, that was my body. And it was just so weird because it's like during the time, like I still remember it. Freaking crazy. And I think around that time, I may get my times mixed up, we were into watching like scary movies and stuff, and that's why I don't like watching scary movies and things
Oh,
about aliens, because stuff like that happens. But i remember I remember telling him, and he was like, oh, like I have it too, like weird, whatever. So yeah, like it's so weird because I didn't have that before I started talking to him, and I need to ask him about it. But I do know that it started like heavily. I used to get it, and during the, I guess like the episode of the sleep paralysis, whatever, I would like freak myself out. But now I know that like when you're in whatever, like to this day, I don't know what or how to explain sleep paralysis and like the feeling, but I do know that like I am scared, and it's fear. And it's like, you sit here and you're scared and it's fear. So obviously, I'm gonna be hearing some weird shit, like, aliens ticking and stuff, and like a deformed like it that's like my mind's playing games on me, and that's like my fear, right?
I see.
That's what I know now. Fucking dumbass 17-year-old Cynthia didn't know that. But yeah, that was like one of the like the weirdest things. And actually, when I had moved, when I had went to Virginia, I didn't have it that whole time that I was when we were living with his mom. And then when we had went to our first apartment, I didn't have it until we went to our second apartment is when it started kicking up a notch. Oh my gosh, literally now that I'm talking about it, when we had gotten married is when it kicked up a notch. And every time I had that, like, when I was like in that state of like sleep paralysis and I was like scared shitless, I would sit there and I'd say the Our Father, and I'd pray and I'd pray and I'd scream and I'd pray. It's oh my gosh, I don't.
So you didn't get like the holy water and the
No,
garlic
I
and
should have called my
a
mom.
steak. I mean,
No, it's
call
just
it exorcist.
it's so crazy that, like, that I would just, I don't know. It's
Well,
crazy.
You're not the only one that went through sleep paralysis.
Yeah.
And the way that, like, I had some bouts of it as well. I really don't like the feeling of sleep paralysis because, you're awake, but you're not moving.
Your mind is awake.
You're
Yeah.
literally like a prisoner in your own body. Like, it feels like that for a while. And I hate it because I'll always get in the weirdest positions. Like, I would either get it if I'm like laying on my stomach or I'll lay on my back. And those are the two worst positions I feel to get it because you want to get up,
but you can't.
Your body is just not having it. It's like you're practically dead. But yeah, like the feeling of it is really weird. In terms of when I got it, for me, I haven't been getting it recently, but there is times of high stress when I don't know like what's gonna happen next or what's going on is when it hits like crazy.
Really?
When I had like that bout of where like, I was saying like work was very stressful. Sleep paralysis would come a lot more often towards those times than they did any other times like in my life. I would get it like once and again, but during that I was getting it like on a monthly basis.
You never told me that.
Which, yeah, like, it's mostly because of stress, I think. Like, the more my stress comes higher,
the stress triggers it.
That's what happens. But what's really weird for me is that I'll be in the middle of a dream and I'd wake up into sleep paralysis in those moments. So, like, I'll be dreaming about something, wake up into sleep paralysis. And for me, like, I'm not trying to continuously try to get up. What I would do is I would do the opposite. I'll try to put myself back to sleep to hopefully get up out of the sleep paralysis. Or not get up at all. I don't know which one I was trying to do, but I usually don't like to fight with sleep paralysis that long because it's a weird feeling. I don't like that feeling at all. And yeah, but it's the times that it takes. The weird part is I cannot even tell you how long like I'm stuck in that paralysis before I either get out of it or like it just blurs out. There's no sense of time. I feel I'm there, but the sense of time and everything goes away. And I remember one of my workmates was talking about it as well. And I like the way that he like would explain it to me. He's like, you're just laying there and you're like, wow, this is happening. I found that was a really funny way of putting it. Yeah. This is happening.
this is happening. I can't do anything about it. I'm just laying here trying to fucking sleep.
Exactly. So yeah, like it's like a bad dream for the most part, but I just don't like it because you're in such a state of like awake and your body's asleep, and it's just a weird feeling. And quite honestly, like it's one of those things of where thinking about it still makes me shiver. It's not a state that I'd like to be in. But yeah, like I understand where you're coming from when it comes to sleep paralysis.
Same. One of the things that I don't know if you've had this feeling, but it got to the point that I would be petrified of going back to sleep.
Oh, wow.
I would try to stay up. Like back then when we were dating, when him and I were dating, I would like call him in the middle of the night, like freaking out, dude. And yeah, like I don't know. That's it.
I don't know how you got out of it, because usually if you have a freak out like that, like it takes forever.
The thing is that I would keep myself up. And I would not. And then I had noticed, kind of like you said, like on your stomach and your back, I had noticed that for me it was on my back. But when I had gotten older and I moved, it didn't matter what position I was in. I don't know why I was thinking that it was a certain position, because it happened regardless. And yeah, that I don't know what that is, but I just find it weird. Like just this week I had noticed that I did not even start getting it until I met him. I need to look that up.
Sleep paralysis. And meeting someone.
Yeah.
You meet people that are new. Like for me, it didn't matter who I met. Like I never had this issue when I went to college. It was specifically a home phenomenon for me. I remember like suffering from sleep paralysis when I was in college or anything. It was just times of high stress and high uncertainty that seemed to trigger it for me.
That's interesting that was a trigger for you, because my trigger was, I guess, meeting him. Listen, I did not mean for that to be rude, okay? Listen, I love you. Just okay. He's probably listening like, what the okay. So next weird thing, again, we'll bounce off each other, is I don't know. So when my grandma died, like, well, my abuelita, like, when she had died, like, I saw my grandpa, and I had seen my grandpa, and like we were at her house, and there's like this part, like I'm trying to describe, like in her kitchen, and like from the kitchen it goes all the way down, and you can like see like the backyard or whatever, and there's like a back door, and I'm telling you, like my grandpa just popped up like, hey, like, you know, I'm coming to pick her up. Like, excuse me? Who told you can come? But like I believe I was 12, 13, and you know, emotions and everything, and it was just kind of like, oh. But now that I'm looking back, and it's just like, that was probably the only, was it? Yes. That was the only spirit I have ever seen, and probably the only one that I have allowed myself to see, like, to be able to see. Because I'm telling you right now, if any of my, like, you know, guardian angels and relatives, like, you know, try to come and visit, like, it's not gonna be pretty.
Are you gonna show them to the door? Knock them out?
I'm just like, I'm pretty sure, I don't know if like, because it's like, okay, for one, I'm a freaking scaredy cat, okay? And for two, it's like, now that I'm older and I'm like, I don't know, like I'm understanding more, and you know, whatever, like don't come visit me. Like, yeah. Don't come visit me, because like I'm not the one.
Yeah, just keep the ghosts and the bugs away from her, and
yes, fine. I'm not the one. That's the only spirit that I've seen, and I like hope to keep it that way. I mean, yeah, like, you know, say like in my dreams, I do see my grandma.
Okay.
I see my grandma. She's the only one really that I've seen some other relatives, but yeah, that's my take. What's yours?
Yeah. All right. So, yeah, right now, um, I went through some apparitions in my life, but it's not exactly me. I mean, when it comes down to it, I didn't specifically go through apparitions on myself, but I do have other people around me that have. My mom, for instance, is one of them that has gone through apparitions in her life. When she was very young, she would always tell me that her grandfather was watching over her, protecting her, and the way that she knew this was when she was very small. She said she saw, like, she felt or saw a presence like fly over her, and she knew that it was like, someone watching over her. And my mom has always been a very spiritual person. She really, like, loves speaking about how, you're watched over by sparrows, and you're watched over by, spirits of your past lives and spirits of the past. When people would see her, they would always say that she had a glow about her, just by just being in her presence. They said that it always felt better and that she was very, very spiritual. Um, and yeah, like in the end of it, or by the end of it, like, I feel that she has been a pretty good impact in showing me like what spiritual stuff is like.
Yeah.
She always has this air of grace about her when she goes along her day to day. She has a bit of superstition as well. Because of it, like she'll always say to stay away from certain things. She's pretty superstitious, I feel, because of all the spiritual stuff. And she was always interested in that stuff as well. So yeah, like even though I specifically haven't gone through much spiritual stuff that is like, you can see, my mom definitely has seen things.
I feel like you have, like, why don't you share that experience you had when you were young?
Oh, yeah,
Yes.
that was a very short one, but yeah, I'll share that one. So when I was super young, I was sleeping. I think I was like young, like 7, 8-ish,
Mm-hmm.
somewhere around there. And I slept on a bunk bed, and the bunk bed was very, very close to the ceiling. So I think I had a nightmare, and I got up and I like hit my head real hard on the top of the ceiling, and that forced me to fall back asleep. And I had an out of body experience at that time, of where I felt like I went like out of body, like through the ceiling, and I was being held by like this white figure. It
Was
looked
it
like an angel to me.
was it like an orb, or like did you see?
I saw a little bit. I saw a hand and like a wavy dress. So I think it was some kind of angelic figure that I saw. Like it's very fuzzy. I mean,
Yeah.
it was very long ago, but
Yeah.
that's. I mean, I feel a piece of it's getting blended in with like with a movie I watched. Of where like they show a hand and like them pulling you or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I felt, and I remember distinctly saying no and getting like dropped right back really fast into my body, which caused me to get back up. Um, but I never forgot the experience. It felt surreal. Like
Were you
I once I got up to a certain height above the roof, I did get scared. That's why I let go, because I didn't want to go any higher. I
Oh,
was afraid of heights as a kid. Well, I could go up to like the biggest slides or whatever, but do not like catch me like trying to skydive or whatever like that.
yeah.
Like I am not about that noise. So yeah, like I got scared and I let go. I just told her no.
It was a
And
girl?
I let go. I believe it was a girl. Like,
you
the
probably
hand.
felt like a feminine presence, right?
Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. So that experience, I'm not gonna say was like impactful or life threatening. I had more nightmares that were life impactful than that. It was just like one of those things of where at the time I didn't think it was serious. And then, like, now thinking back about it, I was like, wow, I wonder what would have happened if I like let her take me all the way up there, So, yeah, I don't know. It's one of those unknowns. But
Yeah.
yeah, in terms of just spiritual stuff, I get feelings, signs, normal stuff, and I usually look into those and
Yeah.
like.
I'm sorry, Sebastian's in the background. We're gonna add one more thing now that you're saying about the signs and stuff. You like go on and say like signs, because I know that you have your way that I don't understand about you talking to your guides and your angels, and I'll tell you my way, and then we'll end it, and then we'll do the card pull.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah, so the way that I like communicate with spirits is I would sit and basically meditate for a bit, and I usually don't get signs right away. Like, it's always a feeling when it comes to me. If I'm walking near a certain shop, or if I am like just out and about, I'll get like, feelings of I should do this thing or I should do that thing, you know? And because of that, it makes it, a little bit impromptu, of where I'm just kind of like, oh wow, like I wonder why I feel like I should do this. In terms of signs, it's usually like birds or whatever.
Crows.
Yeah, it's usually crows, ravens. My mom was really, really connected to crows and ravens, and she always used to say that represented her dad. So whenever I see them, like, it's kind of like a double connection of, her dad, and like the fact that I always get that in big, big signs. So, yeah, like,
wow.
That's usually how I like to, whenever I see like a big group of crows, I kind of find something's going to happen that's impactful. And usually something always happens that's impactful, which really makes it, I guess it makes me believe it even more that is the case. So yeah, that's how it usually comes or speaks to me. But yeah, you can share a little bit about how spirits speak to you.
Okay, so with me, it's through numbers, and I'm trying to think. It's through numbers, and it's through people's actions, and I also like speak through them, or like, try to communicate with them through the cards that I have. And Creason's been there when I'm like, I guess like having like a conversation, and they freaking call me out. And I'll be like, wait, what? And Creason would just like be busting up, like,
yeah.
That's a whole nother thing. But so it's funny because when I first started doing this, and when I first started this journey, I remember like how the whole number thing. I remember I had went to I had dropped Trey off to the like at work, and I had went somewhere to eat. And I went through the drive-thru, and I had gotten something, and it was my lucky number, 2 of my lucky numbers. And I was like, oh, what a coinkadink, right? So I think like that morning and the night before, I was like, am I going on the right path of life or whatever? And, you know, I'm very impatient. And I, you know, thought that like things were going to come quick, but they didn't. So like, yeah, the next day I went through drive-through and it was my lucky number. And I was like, cool. So I needed gas. So, I went to the gas station. I think we were on the phone, and I put I was getting gas, and it wasn't making any sense because like I think I was on empty, and it was like $8 and whatever cents, and I was like no, like this pump is like, it's broken, like there's no way. So I was like, what the heck? There's like, how, what? So it was my lucky number, and I was irritated. I was like, oh my gosh, like now I have to go to another pump, and I was so frustrated. And I'm not even joking. Like I had gotten into the car and I started the car and it filled it up.
Oh wow.
And I was like, dude, like, huh? Like what? And I was like, you know how I am when I'm driving. I was like ranting and raving.
Yeah.
And then once I finally got a moment, I was calm. I looked back and I was like, wait, because the number that I had gotten, was like, I guess it was an angel number. I didn't know it was. So normally I had thought that it was just like the triple and quadruple numbers, but it's not only just that, right? Yeah. So the number that I had gotten was the 828, and I was like, what does that mean? I had looked it up and I was like, oh, this is like, they're talking to me? Are you talking to me?
Yeah.
So after that, I guess like I was like, okay, I got your, you know, you have my attention. And because I am a stay-at-home mom, like I don't know, I doubt myself a lot. And like because I stay at home, it's like I'm in the car driving or I'm at home watching the clock. And I used to see, every time I would like come home from taking the girls to school, I'd see like 828. And I would see the reflection numbers, and I would see like triple numbers, and it never, like I was like, I'm just looking at the time, like it's nothing. But no, it was something. My guides were screaming at me, and I was like, it wasn't clicking. So a lot of it is through numbers for me, because I do stay at home, and I was in the car most of the time. But the cards do help, and also with when I do readings with certain people, I feel like how, well, the certain like vibe, I feel sometimes I get like a weird, like, I don't know, like tingly feeling through my body. Other times I feel warm and I feel love. And I hope to keep it that way, because I ain't trying to do no reading on anybody that gives me bad vibes. I'll still do it, but yeah, that was long. I'm sorry.
No, you're supposed to. I mean, like, when you go ahead and you look, like, do you go mostly through the angel or the spirit, or both? Like the angel numbers, the spirit numbers, or both?
I do the spirit, but like I end up going online and like going into like deep into like meaningful, like I don't just look it up and then what Google tells me. No. I actually need to get that freaking angel number book. There's like a book on it, and numbers mean things, and that's a whole nother thing. But I do look like deep into certain websites. Do you, or no?
Usually, like when we do get the numbers, or if you pull something out, I'll go ahead and look into it a little bit. I do wish that we had books on those specific numbers, but there
Yeah.
is a couple of websites that like I bookmarked that has the angel and spirit numbers on them
Oh
that
yeah.
I'll just go ahead and look at whenever they pop up.
Mm.
The other thing that we usually like to talk about is dreams, but we haven't been doing that recently. But those
We haven't been
also.
doing anything because ever since I came home,
Mhm.
it has been chaotic. I'm shocked that we even got to go out last night.
We just make things happen, it looks like.
Like you were literally coming, like you were coming home from work and you're like, oh, like, are we gonna hang out? And I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
The kids are driving me crazy. I don't know. Are you gonna switch the car seat? I love it, but
yeah.
I also want to say that I do know my guardian, like I have like guardian angels and I have people that are with me, like that I feel their presence. We'll have another episode on that, but do you know who your guardian angel is, or like what?
I mean, when we looked at it the last time, it was what, some old angel or some old like Asian
No,
person?
there's a difference between spirit guides and your guardian angel. So my guardian angel is grandpa and my abuelita Elena. So like those two are the ones that I talk to when I'm talking. Well, when it looks like I'm talking to myself, but I'm not. And then you have spirit guides, and spirit guides. Oh my gosh, Sebastian's like hitting me. Spirit guides are, I believe, evolved spirits that have like mastered lessons in their lives, and they're here to guide you through like everything. And from my understanding, there's a guide that is literally with you like through birth, like from the second you come to the second that your time and there is like when you get into different things, like say I don't know, like you get into like the paranormal, like say like you know, throughout your life you were just like a regular schmegular kid, and then when you get, I guess, like to your 20s or whatever, and you get into like paranormal, there's a guide for that. There's a guide for every stage you go through in life. That's my understanding.
Yeah, so from what you just described, then it will be like my friend like that passed, and my grandfather, that will be my angels. And
dude, that is so, I'm telling you, I've never met him, but when I talk to him when I read for you. I really do. And like if I didn't have so much going on, and when you and I had that one reading, I would have freaking bawled. No, I did cry before the reading. I cried. That song go.
I know. That Adele song gets you all the time.
It hasn't been though. But yeah. So that's, I'm sure we have more guardian angels, but the ones that I've had like channeled for me, because I cannot see spirit, I can like sense, I can feel them, and I can communicate with them through cards. But I've seen my abuelita Elena multiple times in my dreams. I haven't seen grandpa yet. I'm not ready, because like looking at pictures of him, it's still fresh. It's still fresh. It's been a year.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that was long. We're gonna get into the card pulls, and then yeah, we'll end it. And Sebastian's about to fall off the bed. All right, so when I do lately, when I've been doing card pulls for Creason, like his guides are screaming at him. And when I say that, like when I do like the card pull of the day, like the guidance card, his guides want me to do a whole reading.
Yeah, they pull out multiples.
But
So,
Sebastian, no. Today, this morning, they gave me 2 cards. So I'm gonna go with it and, give him the 2 cards, right?
okay.
The first card is shocking of the new, right? You're having trouble accepting the new, Creason. You have so much going on. I feel like there's a bit of nervous and like being afraid. We're not gonna get into it. You know what I'm talking about. There's a lot in your life, but yeah, shocking of the new. There's something in your life that like it's happening right now. So like it's funny because I feel like your life isn't as crazy as mine. So when things manifest, it's like you don't really notice it.
Yeah, it just depends on how big of a rumble. I mean, usually when I make moves, they're very sudden and very quick.
Dude, it's funny how you said that because there's a little part. This is, don't be nervous if the rubble of change turns into a mighty roar that rocks boats, bursts forth as novel ideas and changes things in a way that is out of your control. Life is happening. You like control. You and I are Virgos. We love to have control over our lives. And I feel like it's the fact that there's a part of your life that you have no control over.
Yeah.
And you're just like, what do I do?
Yeah. It's true. I mean, the other part is that, like, Virgos don't like change either. So
yeah,
it's like a double hit. Because,
double whammy.
Yeah, double whammy. Because, like, when it comes down to it, like, most people, including myself, like, gets very comfortable in a certain position. But in order to actually live life, you have to be able to make big changes. And a lot of the time I'm like, yeah, but I can make the big change a little bit later rather than like trying to go in and face it now.
Yeah.
I feel just more comfortable that way, but I know it can't last forever either. Like, changes are going to happen regardless of whether I want them to happen or not. So, like, it doesn't matter what I think. What matters is, like, what's about to happen. And I prepared a lot for it. And right now I'm just, as I said, going with the flow, which is a guidance that we got earlier. Or that I got earlier, which was
we tried to do this episode before, but Creason's headphones died. I think I got a call. Girls came in.
Yeah.
And every episode that we redid, I would pull cards. I'd be like, no, we're not doing it. Like, we have to pull new cards. And I think the one before, like, it's funny because this is how you know that I am communicating with spirit, because they keep the same cards over and over. And I use Creason as my guinea pig. So that I can get to know the cards better. And I just, I'm not relying on my guidance book much anymore. There are some cards that I have to, but yeah, the shock of the new. I'll post this card picture on Random Spirit 28 on Instagram. Go on and follow us. All right. So the second card, I don't think I've pulled this card before. So this one is going beyond normal. Right? All right. Let's see. You are being asked to stay open to the intuitive approach in your life, your work, your creativity, as well as in your spiritual journey. The intuitive approach can be likened to the method of gardener or an artist. This is a sense of what might work where an elusive or even a detailed plan, but how the plan is carried out will depend on and respond to the flow of its surroundings. There is no need to control the situation, but rather a desire to nurture an idea of rotation. Going beyond the normal. This this guidance brings you a special piece of guidance. You are moving outside of the plan. You are living on the border of what is socially accepted. This is good. Yeah. If you are yet to relate to this consciously, this oracle brings you the further message that you are going to be breaking with tradition. I feel like you already are. You know, going beyond normal. This is just you. Because I don't know if you want to share like what you do. Like you take what has hurt you, and you've taken like what has like broken you, and you turn it into success.
Yeah.
Sebastian said no.
Maybe. No, but yeah, like I think one of the hardest things that I've decided to do in my life was what this card is saying now, which is basically absorb all the bad, all the evil, all the stuff that irritate me, and try my best to convert it into good. I realized that, you know, a big part of it is you run the risk of being taken advantage of if you're too nice, which blows because you don't want to be taken advantage of, but you do want to treat people good. I heard a really interesting quote yesterday that said like, the mindset of becoming rich is a very selfish one. So if you're giving, you can't become rich.
Yeah.
Which kind of makes sense, you know. I feel I'm somewhere in the middle. I do value like saving money, but I think there comes a point of where, you know, you have to care about the people around you while you're doing it. And, you know, the best time to actually do things is when you're younger, not when you're older. So a lot of my lessons and stuff, I'm not waiting until I get to like, you know, past the dinosaur years to go ahead and start doing them. Like I'm doing it now when it's ripe and when people actually need the assistance and need you there and need the help. I feel like that's where a lot of people misstep. The misstep is waiting, you know, like, oh, you know, I mean, I learned all this life lessons. I did me. Now I'm ready to be there. But by the time that you're there, all the hatred, resentment, everything, especially like if you have like, you know, little kids or somewhat people who are looking up to you. If you spend all your time looking towards yourself, trying to do things for yourself, those kids and those people grow up and all they remember is the worst signs of who you were, you know, like, and they sit there, and then you're going to be like, well, I did all of that for you. Like, the reason I did all of that is for you. And they will turn straight to you and be like, no, you didn't. And the reason is because, like, during all that time that you were focused on, like, trying to make sure that you're doing things on your own. Like, you know, their lives are growing up as well, and they're not going to see it in the same way that you do, which really sucks in the short term, because a lot of people, like, give up their lives, you know, or like realize that they didn't do what they wanted to do inside their lives young. And yeah, but for me, like, I've always been a very people-oriented person, even though like I'm a very introverted person. I might not sound like it, but I am. And I figured from a young age that like you want to make the impact inside the young people's lives early. It doesn't take a lot to make an impact, It really doesn't. Like, you just have to make sure that you are true to yourself in a lot of times. And
Yeah.
to rotate it back to where the point was, basically what I'm trying to say is, like, it's difficult to run a path like that. It's difficult to run a path of where you care about people, because I feel it's the harder path. If you care about people, then you're always going to be hurting yourself in some way, or hindering yourself in some way. Not all the time, but for the most part, because it takes money, it'll take your time, and all those little times does add up for the people that are around you. But for yourself, like, you end up feeling like, man, I could have just focused on myself today. Like, why didn't I do that? And doing it too much, like anything, can be a bad thing. But I do feel that sometimes, you have to be like, hey, people are here that, like, care about me, and I need to show them at least a little bit of appreciation that I care about them. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that card.
That's great. That was the 2 cards that I pulled for you. I'll send you these, and I'll also put them on our Instagram. So mine is be the hunter, not the hunted. I believe I've pulled this one for Trey before, but all right. Okay. Be the hunter, not the hunted. Do you feel you were at the beck and call of circumstances, situations, and relationships that are outside of your control? Is your attention being called away from what you love, from your passionate focus upon your journey and creative self-expression? Yes. Are you feeling roped into becoming a support, savior, and heal all for others? There is a big difference between healthy supportiveness in a relationship, which includes healthy self-support, and ignoring your own journey out of misplaced guilt, shame, unworthiness. Dude, this card is calling me out. Unworthiness, or the belief that the needs of others are more important than your own. I'm just gonna leave it there. That is unhealthy and neglectful of yourself. Listen, right? Be the hunter, not hunted. I take on too much, okay? So, and I think I've told you this yesterday, because yesterday I wanted to punch Creason in the face, okay? I'm not gonna act on it. I am not abusive, okay?
She says that now.
But I take on too many things because I have this, like, I keep this image of I'm a bad bitch. Like, I can do it. Like, I've done things by myself before. I don't need your help. But yet, like, it's like contradictive, because it's like, help me. But it's like, no, don't help. Like,
That's the story of, like, most of your life, really.
It's hard because when you get used to doing things by yourself and you don't get help, it's kind of like, I'm gonna get deep into it. Let's go. It's kind of like, I have a lot of trauma that I am dealing with right now, and Creason is an amazing best friend, and like, we were sitting in the car, and like, I started crying, and it's like, I've told you, it's like, okay, yeah, like, I want you to, like, hug me, and he touches me and I snap, and I'm like, don't touch me. But it's like, it's hard for me to accept love. It's hard for me to accept the good, because I'm so used to being used and abused. And when I say used and abused, I'm not saying physically. I'm saying emotionally. I'm saying mentally. let people manipulate me, and I go above and beyond, and I don't do it for myself. So I think this card is like, telling me, do for yourself, like stop what you're doing, Cynthia. But it's like, I have to do all these things. I have to help this person. I have to help that person. I have to go over here. I have to go over there. And it's like, I have so many things to do. And I'm like, just listening to me on this podcast, if you guys don't know me, like, you can tell I'm all over the place. I need stability. I guess, I don't know what you would call that, like, stability in my mind and in my life. Like, I need to be stable.
Yeah, predictability.
I need order. Like, yeah, like I need to be. And it's just like I have it all intertwined. I'm so used to doing things by myself, and it's like, yeah, like help me. Like yesterday, my mom and dad said that they're gonna watch Scarlett and Alea, but I was like, okay. So then I was like getting ready to leave, and they're like, oh, mommy, like I want to come, and I was like, okay, come. Like I should have just left them, because what happened? I almost punched Chris. Like I was so stressed. Like we had went in my car, and I wanted to go to Target. I needed to get some stuff, and you had gotten in the car, and I was done. I'm sorry. I had gotten a call. I was snippy. I was snappy, and yeah, I need to be the hunter, not the hunted. I need to care for myself. It all starts with me, and it's hard because I like, at the end of the day, I am a mother, and like it's hard to balance that I'm a mother with, like, with being me myself, because I'm 28 and I'm still trying to find myself. I'm on the path, on the road of finding myself. I am trying to be the best daughter. I'm trying to be the best wife. I'm trying to be the best friend. I failed. This is me, like, being real, Kristen. I feel like I failed. I am failing as a friend, and I'm gonna start crying. Holy crap. I failed as a friend because, like, you're there, and I'm, like, doing 1,000 things, and it's, like, I'm like, Kristen, call me at this time. Like, we haven't had that, like, our time, and I don't even have time to talk to my own husband, because I'm, like, so, like, ugh, I need to be the hunter. Take me hunting.
Hey, okay. So just so I can, like, reflect, I think accepting as a Virgo, given the fact that we like to be in control of everything, including our emotions, excuse me, including our emotions, given that we like to be in control of all of that, I feel that, like, it's difficult to accept. And I have a little bit of this. The way that I prevent myself from, or the reason why I'm usually calm and I don't like to get emotional, is not because, I don't feel emotional at those specific situations. It's because it's a mechanism to prevent people from having to go ahead and, embrace me or care about me or whatever. I have a very stoic way of dealing with life, which is, I will joke around and I will mess around, but when it comes to, like, situations that are crazy, or that go, like, off the rails. Like last night, I'm not gonna say that we went off the rails. It was more of, you were stressed, and I know instinctively that when, someone's really stressed, the best course of action is not to have a person there that isn't stressed, and that's gonna be able to just, take us along the paces until we get out of the situation.
You were amazing, because you literally, like, you took Sebastian, and you were there like playing peekaboo, his favorite game.
Yeah.
And that, like, it's small, but that helped me a lot, and thank you for that.
Yeah.
You couldn't do much with the girls because they were just like on one, but
yeah,
you know how it is with Sebastian.
Yeah, so I usually, like, of course I have feelings and I have stuff as well. And it's difficult sometimes to go ahead and, both of us have had like deep-seated abandonment stuff inside our past.
Hey.
So, like, when it comes down to it, that's what makes this a lot more tricky and a lot more hard, because not only do we have to deal with like the fact of, trying to control the situations that we are, but we also have to go ahead and juxtapose that by the fact of we are like feeling like pushing those abandonment things onto people that we care about, even though we know how it feels to be abandoned.
It's the whole thing of like, I didn't like, why do you want to give this to me? It's like questioning help and questioning love. Like, why me? Like, it's a little bit of like, I don't deserve it. Like, I could do it myself. Why? Like, why?
Yeah. And it's not, I don't even think it's ego. I don't think it's hubris.
No,
I just think
it's deeper than that. And you and I are figuring that out, because it a lot of things intertwine. It's the abandonment issue. It's the fact that we are normally the ones that go above and beyond and people don't do for us. So in order for us to fill in that void, because we don't like confrontation. I'm not going to sit here and be like, wait, why am I doing this for you, but you're not doing it for me? Because like, that's going to bring a whole, like, I don't have energy for that. But it makes no sense, because it's like, oh, so you're telling me that you only have energy for giving, and you don't receive. And it's like, I mean, it's the easy way out, Creason. We take the easy way out. I'm calling us out on our bullshit. We take the way out.
I mean, some things are easier to receive than other things, though. Like if someone gives you a gift, I mean, most of the time you don't want to go ahead and receive it, but you sit there and receive it. But I think it's like emotional receiving, that's the difficult
love
one. It's like receiving love and receiving like, oh wow, this person actually cares.
It's like someone calling me like beautiful, or calling me kind. Is like, I'm not kind, I'm a bitch. Like, what? Like, I'm not beautiful. Have you not seen me when I wake up in the morning? Like, I walk out of the house in, like, I went to Target in freaking like workout clothes. I didn't have a bra on. Like, huh? I'm what? Excuse me? Say it again. No. But yeah, we're getting this is gonna be a long episode, and you know what? I'm here for it. I hope you guys can relate. I'm gonna end it here.
We'll talk more about this later, because we're going into so many issues.
There's so many things that I want to talk about, and before, like, I just want to add, before this episode, like before we hopped on here, like I said, I'm all over the place. And Creason was like, I could tell, like, you were kind of like irritated with me, like, Cynthia, we've probably done like 5 of this specific episode.
Yeah.
And it's because, like, things are crazy. I don't have, like, quite honestly, I don't want to edit anything. And it's hard because, the kids, and now that I'm with my parents, I'm at home with my parents, they come in and like they need my help, and then I want to spend time with my sister, and then I want to spend time with my nephew, and I'm your girl's trying to get in shape, so I gotta find time to work out. And I have it's like I said, I have to find time to talk to Trey. I have to find it. How sad is that? I have to find time. Like, I'll say, Creason, like, I want to hang out, like, and then it's like you're waiting outside for like an hour because like I forget that you're here. Like I'm on the like balance. I need balance in my life.
Yeah, it's gonna be one of those things. I know that you said that you want to spend like a lot of time, and I think that that's the thing. It's the
I have
pacing
all
of
this
it.
time here. No, it's like I see it. Like I'm trying to fit so many things. Whoa, I'm trying to fit so many things like in one day. And it's like, Cynthia, like, what are you doing? Like, we have this whole time I'm here. But it's like, but
yeah, that's true.
Stop it. But yeah, all right. So that was our long episode.
Yeah, it was entertaining. Be sure to follow us at Random Spirit 28 if you want to go and catch the pictures of the card pulls that we did, and also to find out when new episodes are going to air. And yeah, always remember to love yourself, guys.
And until next time.
Until next time. Bye.
Bye.